Hi everyone. So welcome to this session. In this session, we are going to install Confluent Kafka at one of the Linux machine. Okay. Um, Let me just open the slide deck which we normally follow, and let me just mention what all we are gonna do. Okay. So. I'll say Confluent Kafka installation. Okay, so this is Confluent Kafka installation, and what we're going to do here is initial steps are similar to what we have done before. Login to AWS account, take EC2 VM with a Linux OS machine, install Docker. Any method is okay. Putty and use putty to connect. Okay, so now what we are going to do after this, we are going to install something called Docker and Docker Compose actually. Okay, so Docker is here, Docker Compose. We're going to install Docker Compose and use Docker Compose to install Confluent. Okay, and then verify all the containers, log into control center. Okay, so these are pretty much high level tasks which we are going to do now. Let's see how we proceed. Okay, all right. Okay, so let's connect to AWS account first. These are almost the same task which we have been doing before. When you're working with cloud, probably a lot many things you have to do again and again. But as we move forward, as you do the same thing again and again, the time which goes will start to be lesser actually. Yeah. Fine. So let's take a EC2 machine. There are few things which we have to do differently here compared to what we have been doing before, and let me show you one or two things actually. Let's go to the Confluent website. Okay, confluent.io. This is the Confluent website. Confluent, if you know, is the company which manage Kafka. Kafka, though, is open source, but the management and support ability is provided by Confluent team. They are the initial developers of Kafka open source library, and they maintain a separate product called Confluent platform, which has got Kafka as well as a lot many other things which are needed by our enterprise. Okay, so we'll discuss more about Confluent and Kafka a little later, but let me show you the docs part of this. Okay, go to Confluent platform, get started. I'll just open two pages. Quick start for Confluent platform. This is where they have given a quick start way of installation of Confluent platform. And another page which I want to show you is that Confluent system requirements. So if you come to this page, you will see details around the prerequisites for installing Confluent at your machines. And you see here like the requirements in terms of CPU memory is quite high actually, and this is actually production grade installation. If you see here, like Broker, which is the core of Kafka, needs 12 core socket. 64 gigabyte RAM, is a minimum kind of thing actually. Similarly, Connect needs up to 4 gigabyte of heap size. Schema registry to 1 gigabyte of heap size. Zookeeper, which is also mandatory things, like 4 gigabyte RAM and 2 to 4 core. So pretty much this is a very high number actually. The VMs which we have been taking till now, the free tier 1 won't work actually. If we are able to install, the services won't be able to come up actually. So the virtual machine which we are going to take now should be pretty much with like good configuration. So let's go to instances. There's nothing out here because, as I always do, I cleaned up all the instances which I had. Okay, so what I'm gonna do now, I'm gonna launch a new instance like this. The name I'll be giving it to be a Confluent one. I'll take some Ubuntu server. This latest version is fine with me. Okay, the basic T2 micro is not going to work here. It just got one CPU and 1 gigabyte memory. I need to take something stronger, at least something like 32 gigabyte memory and 4 to 8 cores should be sufficient for our needs. So let's take this one, 8 CPU core and 32 gigabyte memory. The cost of this guy is around $0.5 per hour, which is like 40 to 45 rupees per hour actually. Okay. So I'll keep that one. Key pair name Docker one, which we had created it already in the last class, and we already have a copy of this file with us. Now here we now need to give more configure more rules actually. This basic rule SSH won't work because there are a lot many IP addresses and ports that talk to each other actually. So maybe I'll just quickly do a edit from here. So this is just default VPC it has selected. Firewall, create a new security group is okay. I'm gonna add a new security group rules like this. And what I'm gonna do for this class session, like all TCP. So it's like from all ports actually. So there are many ports which are gonna come into picture. So I'm not gonna select one port at a time for this session. So it's like it's selecting every port. And source type is anywhere. I'll just choose anywhere. It's not a good practice to keep it in actual system, because this means actually anyone from anywhere can connect to these ports actually. But just for quick learning actually, we are keeping it like this, or we could choose my IP, that is also fine. So this is okay. Now let's go to the storage part. Let me just select let me just put 50 gigabyte volume. This is also fine now. Should be fine now. And let's see anything in advanced details section. I think this looks okay. Let's launch the instance. Okay, I click on this link. Instance is now running already. And just to confirm, if I go to security, inbound rule is like anywhere to any port we can connect. Okay, take this IP address, go to PuTTY. Let me just save. Let me just say Confluent 1, save, SSH, select the one which we want. I think we had Docker one here. Okay, so we got this prompt means machine is up and running. and everything is fine actually. It does not have Docker. Quickly, I'm going to install Docker, but this time I'm going to install Docker Compose as well. The two things which I had to do, if you remember. So sudo apt update. This is one step which I had shown you in the last class. Okay, this is fine now. Let me install Docker quickly. Sudo apt get install Docker IO, Docker Compose both. Okay. Yes. Okay, so looks like Docker is installed. Docker Compose, let's see. That is also installed. Okay. Now let me do the things related with the Confluent installation. I'll just do ls for listing the files. There's nothing out here actually. I'll just create a folder mkdir Confluent. Just a good practice to keep everything similar at a specific folder. So I have this folder now. In Unix term, this is called directory. I go inside this Confluent and then there's nothing over here actually. Okay. Just to confirm, this is my present working directory. Let me just go to the same Confluent website. We had opened this page actually from this get started quick start for Confluent platform. If I look here, it's a prerequisite for Docker. It says Docker and Docker Compose needs to be there. Okay. Docker version 1.1 or more is needed. We had 20 actually, is much bigger than this one. Docker Compose is installed. It says on Mac you cannot do and all actually. It's fine actually. Alright, so from here we can start the installation. If you know this command, so what is happening here? Curl is for opening a file actually. Okay, you just try to open this this file, and then it's putting it into this particular file. Okay, let's see the content of this web page quickly. Okay, so there's many things over here actually, but this is what we need at from wherever we are installing Confluent. If we are installing it from our Windows, then we need this file at Windows machine. If we are installing it at the Linux VM, then we need it over there. And this command does exactly the same thing actually. It reads this file and then it creates this output file. So just copy it here. Okay, should have copied. Okay, looks like it has done. Awesome. I'll just open this file in VI mode to show you the contents. Okay. Alright, so there are not many things here. We may not need to know these things now, but I'll just show you few things very quickly. So this is a Docker Compose file. And this file will be useful for, this file will be used for installing all the services. What are the services which are there? Zookeeper, Kafka Broker, Schema Registry, Kafka Connect, Control Center, KSQL DB Server, KSQL DB CLI, DataGen, REST Proxy. So all these components, all these services will be installed. And the way it works is that it downloads the images over here, like this guy, from the Confluent INC hub, and then from there when it downloads, then it uses these parameters which are mentioned. It uses those for building that image and container actually. Okay, so image gets downloaded, and then using those parameters which are mentioned there, that container is built actually. So there's many things which are here. We don't have to do all those things manually. That is the beauty of Docker actually. Like you just this file like this, and then Docker will take care of everything actually. Okay. This is not the only way of doing installation of Confluent. If you want, you can do it separately. Download each and every component separately, and then configure these items accordingly, and then build your the complete package. And all the steps are mentioned in the Confluent website. This one is considered quick, and chances of making mistakes are very less actually. Okay, so I have this file now. The next thing which it's asking here is that just run this command, So this is a Docker compose command which we have to run. And when it sees this file, Docker compose.yaml file, it just left it and run it actually. If the file is with a different name, let us say you don't have YML, you have YAML, or some other name you have mentioned, let's say confluent.yaml. This command won't work. You have to give the file name as well actually. Okay. In this case, this is fine. I'll just copy like this. Probably I have to do sudo. And you see, it has actually started doing things, It's now pulling all the images, if you have not come across Docker before, this may look little totally different than how you normally install any software package. What actually is happening right now is that the different images, there's a part of the images, it's getting pulled. And then when the images are pulled, then those parameters are used, and then a container is created locally actually. So this is what's going to happen now. The pulling part is going to take some time because these are big packages. You can see 914, approximately 1 gigabyte is getting installed, downloaded now. And similarly, there are many different images, actually, many split files of the images. So these are big software. And this is going to take some time, the image part actually. But once you have the images installed, it is copied, then building a container is a very quick job actually. So it's just a one-time activity which you have to do. And then building one container, many containers, similar container, it's very, very pretty easy actually. Okay. So we'll give it some time. It's going to take few minutes. Probably I will cut the video to show it in faster way actually. Okay. It is still doing its activities, but you can see it has moved forward many services already. Okay, so now you can see here a few things happened. All the images got downloaded, and you see here different containers are created actually. So there are two activities which happened. All the images got downloaded, and the containers are created by taking those parameters which are mentioned in that compose file. You can see here creating zookeeper, broker, schema registry, connect. There's so many containers actually, and these are all needed for running the Confluent Kafka. Okay, so let's see what all we have now. Sudo docker images. Okay, the all images are downloaded, different tags which are versions. You can see here image ID and the size also you can see. So 2.3 gigabyte. And 1.8, 1.27 and all actually. Okay. Sudo docker ps. You see here. Let me just run one more time. Okay. Okay. So this is the name. KSQL DB CLI data gen control center. These are all up and running actually. Let me see by running command -a. Okay, if I run -a, I can see all the containers which are in dead state also. It's quite possible, like when Docker tries to create a new container, not all the containers are up actually, like, or sometime after some time, few containers can go down as well. So using this command, you can actually see which are all in dead state and which are in running state. So sometime back, when I had taken a machine with just one core and 1 gigabyte RAM, most of these containers were in dead state. I was not able to bring them up because there's no resources actually which are available. So I had to go and see like this -a, and then I had to start those containers. So command is like this: sudo docker start or restart, and then put the name actually. Whatever name of the containers. The name of the containers are like this. It's not coming nicely here, but this is the name of the container. Control center, KSQL server, like this. So you have to put the name of the container and then restart it actually. In this case, it's already working fine. So let's see if things are working nice or not. Let me just run log commands also. Sudo docker logs broker. So this command will give all the log which gets generated from the Docker command actually. Anything goes wrong, anything is not running fine, you can come here and then you can see what is the issue which happened actually. Here it all looks good to me. So now if everything looks good, what I should be able to do now is you see control center, right? And it's available at 9021 port. So if everything is fine, this control center should be up and running. Okay. You see here there's some more command which I mentioned. Okay. So for this instance, my IP address is this guy, and it's 9021. It's coming up now. You can see the header, and yes. So control center has come up. That means, so this is the admin portal of Kafka, created and provided by Confluent. This is not part of the basic core Kafka. Okay. So core Kafka comes with the core services which are needed for running, like your application. But there's a lot of management kind of things which are not available. And there are few advanced things like a schema browser and KSQL. Those are also not available. So we'll talk about that thing little later. But here, when you see this page, that means things are running fine actually. So this completes our installation. I'll just show you a few things and then we can close this session. This is control center dashboard. You see the broker here. The broker is the actual Kafka server, where the topics and everything is stored. There's many things you can see here. We'll just ignore it for now. Go to topics. This is the core of Kafka actually. Like it is like your like in terms of database, you have a table where data resides. Topic is something where Kafka data resides actually. Okay, so in Kafka, you actually create a topic and then publish the data to the topic and then work over there. Okay, so this is how it works. Just to check if everything is working fine, I'll just add topic like this. Give any name. Let's say product, and just create by defaults. I'm not going to do anything here actually. Number of partition is fine, 1. Okay, so this is fine. The topic is created, which is product, and there's no message at this moment. I can produce a message like this. Okay, though this is not a very right way of doing this, just for testing, but I can produce a message like this, and actually the message is produced now. Some sample data was there. So this was the message which was produced actually. Okay, I just checked the partition. There's many things, header, key and all. We'll talk about everything later. But in this class, we have just concluded how to install the Confluent Kafka, and if you see here, Kafka Connect is a different service which is also up and running. KSQL DB is a different thing. Consumer is a different thing, so all these things are up and running. Okay, so this is what we have it here actually. Let's go to this place quickly. So let's connect to any of the container. The command is docker execute interactive mode, and then I'm gonna put the name of the container. So let's say I connect to the server. So the name of the container is broker. And how do I want to connect? We want to connect using bin sh. Alright. So you see this sh prompt. We are actually inside now this broker container. It is nothing but a Unix machine. It's a Linux actually. So Linux with very minimal packages actually. So these are all containers which you see. They're all Linux based. It's like Linux machines are there, but they have very limited package. You cannot run lot many commands actually. So man command is not there. Less should be there, but I don't know. VI should not be there. VI is not there actually. But we are inside that container of the broker actually. Okay. So broker is installed in this container. I can run few commands over here directly to see a couple of things. Okay. So I'll just come out. Maybe let's quickly see KSQL DB. So I'm gonna run KSQL DB server. I'm inside that container KSQL DB server. KSQL. I'm inside the KSQL prompt now. Show topics. I can see the topic over here actually. So don't worry about KSQL DB or broker or what all we did actually. This is just to show you like we are able to work properly in Docker environment. The installation was very easy. It hardly took me 15 minutes to install. Same thing will go with you. If you really want to have enterprise ready production kind of installation, some changes you may have to do here with this installation, or you may want to individually install every component and everything suggested at this place actually. So I just took it from quick start, but if you go to install and upgrade, this is a very much detailed information about each and every component actually, like how you're going to install in different ways actually, Docker and Ubuntu and all actually. So those are all there. This one was very quick and easy, and this is good for our purpose. Okay. Alright, so this all completes this session. Let me just reiterate what we have done today. We went to login, AWS account. We took EC2 VM instance with Linux OS. We installed Docker Compose also. Using PuTTY, we connected the machine. And using Docker Compose, we installed that Confluent software. Before that, we had to download actually, the Docker Compose file using curl command. When we had it, then we came and verified everything. Log into Control Center. We in fact created a topic, and created a message. Okay. So if you remember, this was the message which we created in the last when we so this is the message which we had created actually. Okay, this is just any message, doesn't matter what it is, but we can create a message just like this. Okay, so this is all in this session. I hope you liked it, and in the next class we will continue from here actually. So now we already have Docker installed. I'm not going to delete this instance actually. So let me just quickly show you one more thing actually. What I'm going to do here now with AWS, I'm not going to delete this time actually. Okay, because deleting actually means next time I have to reinstall everything, and it's going to take some time. What I'm gonna do here is that I'm gonna so every time I terminate it over like this. So termination actually means finishing of everything. I'm gonna stop it this time. When I stop it, the only charge which I have to pay is the storage charge. Okay, because RAM, core, they all come from different places. And they what this AWS does, it just take the core from somewhere, RAM from somewhere, and the storage combine and form a machine, give it to you. Now when I have released this, stopped it, RAM is gone, core is gone actually. It's only the storage part which I care about, okay? So storage is with me, that cost I still have to give, okay? But that's not a huge cost actually, like I think it's $4-5 per entire month actually, something like that. For this much space which we have taken. But we have to ensure that we close actually, like, if we had just kept it in a running state, then we had to pay a lot of money, 0.5 USD per hour thing. Okay, so just be careful about the cost and everything, and then this all is fine actually. Okay, so this is all for today's session. We will connect back again in the next session. Okay, thank you very much.